Hey guys, thanks again for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about something that was a big part of my youth growing up, and that's tobacco sticks. Now, tobacco sticks were used in the housing of burley tobacco. You'd cut it, you'd throw about 5 or 6 stalks of tobacco on a stick. Then you'd use the sticks, you'd go up in a tobacco barn, hang it between the tier rails, and the tobacco would hang from the sticks for a month and a half at a time. Now, these tobacco sticks, when we got done using them, you throw them in a pile and stack them up, and eventually you'd bundle them up so they'd be ready for use for the next year. Well, in the late 90s, early 2000s, tobacco prices went down and a lot of farmers stopped growing tobacco. And so they had a massive surplus of tobacco sticks. And just about any tobacco farmer around here has got thousands of them sitting in his barn. So I thought, why not have an idea to come up with another use for these tobacco sticks? And what I did is I started kind of making crafts out of them. Here's a Santa Claus and an elf that I made. Painted them up, kind of made them look rustic looking. And they were a pretty good pair. Had them sitting on my steps for a long time. And also, I've made faith, hope, love signs hanging up in the house. I've given them as gifts. And I've made bird houses. This is a patriotic bird house that I made. Here's a more rustic looking one that I made. I've gave as gifts and just gave them to friends. And here's a scarecrow coming up. We got fall, so there's a scarecrow, and here's a scarecrow's head and face, kind of as a decoration. There's Frankenstein here. All totally out of tobacco sticks. Here's a witch. But then that kind of got me thinking, so I looked to see what else is around the house. Here's some old landscape blocks that I cut off and painted. And I used some old shirts to kind of fashion some toboggans and scarves out for them. They make a pretty cool Christmas display. And I've given some of them as gifts. But my mom has always wanted Nutcrackers sitting out in front of her house. So I got me a piece of plywood about last year, and I said, well, I'm going to surprise her. I'm going to make her some. So I started drawing and cutting out and went through the whole process, and you're kind of seeing the process here. A lot of the cutting out wasn't too bad, and the drawing wasn't too bad. It was the painting, and it wasn't bad. It was just maybe took the longest time to paint them. You had to kind of paint in layers and go back and fix this and fix that. But I think they ended up coming out pretty good. I was going to surprise her. I was wanting to surprise her. And I think I started on them on a Saturday afternoon. And working on it an hour here, 2 hours there throughout the week, I had them done. And I think I gave them to her the next Saturday when they were decorating for Christmas. I took them over there, and about an hour later, they were sitting out on her front porch. She really liked them, and I believe I'm going to make me a set this year to go out in front of my house. Now, some other things I've made the last few years. I've made this Peanuts Christmas set with Charlie Brown and Linus and Snoopy. I just have them kind of positioned in that famous scene when they're at the Christmas tree farm trying to pick out a tree, and they end up getting that pathetic tree. But they're fairly easy to draw. You just kind of got to take your time and do a lot of erasing and a lot of fixing. But I also made the Halloween Peanuts set. As you can see here, quite a few more characters. There's Pigpen. There's Charlie Brown with his bag of rocks that he got trick-or-treating. There's Lucy there dressed up as the witch that she was in the famous cartoon. And, of course, you got to have Linus there. He's sitting out in the pumpkin patch waiting on the great pumpkin to arrive. And right beside him, as always, there's Sally. And in this scene, she's ripping his butt for making her wait in the pumpkin patch and miss out on trick-or-treating. Now, I also made Jack Skellington and Zero because it's my kid's favorite Halloween film. I take Zero and I actually hang him from fishing line from a tree limb so it looks like he's floating. And there's Jack Skellington. But I'm going to do some more. I want to add to the Peanuts collections that I've made, and may do some more Halloween figures. I'm going to do some more Christmas figures. I know I'd like to do the Grinch. Halloween wise, I would like to do the old Garfield and Odie from the old Garfield Halloween episode where they're dressed up as pirates. I'm going to do that sometime. And I think I'm eventually going to try making large-scale outdoor Christmas village scenes out of plywood. And I think it would just be cool. But, hey, y'all drop a comment. Let me know what y'all would like to see be made. And like I said, I'm going to do some DIYs, kind of showing you how I do it and maybe giving you some ideas, and hopefully y'all can give me some ideas. I'd love to hear them. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.